my pimpin' got him hooked. Pimpin' got him. He say my pimpin' got him hooked. Pimpin' got him. My bad. My pimpin' got you hooked. My bad. I'm sorry if my pimpin' got you hooked. My bad.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Codenamechanel and I'm back, but clearly I'm back with a story time. If you're new to my channel, this is the finesse channel where I talk about finessing, but I also have story time. If you're a returning subscriber, then you know it's all love. Have you guys just ever been like too good of a friend to somebody? Like too good of a friend to somebody, you're just like, why this person? Like, why do I go all out for this one person who just continuously keeps stabbing me in my back? I had a best friend. We met in high school through my cousin. Her name, we're just gonna make up names, so we're gonna call her Shay. So me and Shay became really, you know, best friends or whatever. We ended up dating guys that were brothers. Let's just say they were brothers. And I was really like obsessed with the guy that I was dating. He was like my first love, everything in high school. He was just like everything to me. And I started kind of building like a group of friends. And like I was around that time, like I had a lot of girlfriends. And if you guys see my toxic relationship story time, in that story time I did not have any friends, and it's because of this situation right here right now that I'm about to tell you guys, like why I just stopped having friends around that time. So anyway, I was like obsessed with this boy. I would always like want to see him. I would be on the phone with him for hours. And I ended up having to move out of California because like all this stuff was going on in my life. So I had to move to Florida. And I was just like, I didn't want to leave California. Like I'm telling you guys, I'm so Cali. Like you cannot watch my videos and not know where I'm from. You cannot know that I'm not from California. Like I'm definitely from Cali. So I was so sad, and I didn't want to leave Shay. I didn't want to leave none of my friends, and I didn't want to leave my boyfriend, period. I didn't want to leave him. So I was still keeping in touch with people, but I ended up making a lot of friends in Florida too. And you know, like, but I still wanted to move back to California. So a year and a half later, I moved back to California, and me and Shay were still in touch. Like we would talk to each other all the time. Like this is my best friend. Before I moved, if you see her, you see me. I get back to Cali, and my brother's girlfriend calls me. He's like, "Oh, are you going to?" She's like, "Oh, are you going to Shay's baby shower?" And I'm like, "Baby shower?" No, literally, y'all. I'm like, "Baby shower? Who's she pregnant by?" And then the girl was like, so this is my brother's girlfriend on the phone. We're just gonna call her Y. So Y was like, "Girl, she's pregnant by," and we're gonna call him, I don't know, what should we call this no good trifling? We're gonna call him Tribe. We're gonna call him Tribe, short for trifling. So she was like, "She's pregnant by Tribe. I thought you knew that." Okay, how would I know that she was pregnant by Tribe, who was currently my boyfriend and she was currently my best friend? Like this is literally the story, but we're not gonna make the story time about this. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna give this, we passed that, we moved on from that. So yes, my best friend at the time, Shay, ended up getting pregnant by my ex-boyfriend, Tribe. Anyway, again, I moved on. I had relationships after that. I stopped talking to her for like, when was this? I was like 15, 16. I stopped talking to her for like 5 years. I didn't talk to her. And my brother was basically like, "Man, you know, I miss y'all together. And, you know, she missed you too. And then like, she really missed me and stuff like that." And by then I was, we should link up and hang out or whatever. I was in the toxic relationship. The toxic relationship story time is when I started being back being friends with her, because at the time I didn't have any friends when I was with him. I'm sorry, I'm just getting so pumped because I'm remembering everything that happened. I didn't have any friends when I was with him, so I kind of like told my brother like I miss my old friends, which was like from 4 or 5 years ago. Dang shame, I couldn't make any in 5 years, y'all. I couldn't make no friends. Since the thing that happened with Shay, like that host, I couldn't make any friends. 5 years I was girlfriendless. So you know, I was like lonely, and it's really embarrassing because I started being friends with her again. I know y'all gonna be in the comments like, Chanel. So before that, I wasn't even Chanel. Like I didn't become Chanel until like a few years later. Anyway, so no, like a year later, like around. Anyway, So we ended up being friends again. We started hanging out or whatever the case is. And we was cool. Like, there was really nothing that happened. Again, I ended up meeting my ex, who ended up turning into my husband. I ended up getting married. You know, she was there. Like, but she never really hung around me when I was with my husband, because he had a set of friends and those were the friends we were kind of hanging around. But when me and her just really kind of turned into like going out friends. But she would call me like the godmom of the child that she had with my ex that was my boyfriend at the time, and I just thought that was weird. But the little boy was adorable. I'm sorry, you guys, I am the type, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm the type to like move on, but I still hold grudges. But I just felt like, you know, everything was going so good in my life that I was cool with being friends with her again. Like, again, that's not even what this story time is going to be about. I know you guys want the full tea on that, but that was the tea. I'm making other friends during this time. I really just grew apart from her. Like, I had so many other friends that I was making, and just a better crowd. And when I would tell my new friends the story, because I never hid it. Like, I didn't feel like it was no secret. Like, she did that to me when we were teenagers, and that was that. And she kept the baby, and her and Tribe was not together. He didn't help her with his child. He was just a deadbeat. He didn't do nothing for her. Like, and I'm not saying like that's her karma or nothing like that, but I mean, that's what happened. So anyway, it was a lot of times where Shay needed things, and she needed money, or she needed clothes, or she needed her hair done, and I paid for it. I've actually, in my lifetime, I paid for a lot of things for my friends, and I'm not the one to like brag, but I really be out here finessing, and I'll finesse for my friends. Like, if I'm like, oh, you know, if in that one song what Quavo said, he was like, if I'm gonna spend, I'm gonna pay for some friends. Those are the type of dudes I be around. So, you know, when she was with me and she couldn't get her hair and nails done, like, I would find somebody to get our stuff done. Like, that's just the type of friend that I became. I just decided, because I talked about this in my moving to Texas story time, but the people that I was around weren't really elevating me. They didn't want nothing bigger. They didn't want to buy this. They didn't want to take trips. They didn't want to get passports. Like, it was kind of like I'm stuck in the city I was in, San Diego. They didn't want to do nothing. Like, it, and I'm not saying that all about San Diego, but I see a lot of that. Like, a lot of people in San Diego do not want to leave San Diego. I don't know if it's the weather, the beaches, whatever the case is, they don't want to leave. So I moved to Texas, and I started hanging around, so you guys know my best friends now. If you watch my channel, you know I have genuine friendships now. So it took me coming to Texas to kind of be like, dang, like, this is genuine friendships. Like this is what I've been missing. Like, years of missing real friendships. Like, I've never had friends like I have now. I get to Texas, and I'm not gonna lie, I started acting funny. I wasn't really talking to her. I wasn't really doing, like, you know, we just stopped really talking. Like, she never came out here to visit me. I would go back and forth to San Diego, and I would see her all the time. So when I came back to San Diego, she'd be like, oh, you always acting funny when you go to Texas? And I'm like, yeah, I do be acting funny. I ain't gonna lie, I do be acting funny. So she basically was like, I don't know, feeling some type of way. So the next time, this was in December of, not last year, but the year before, my cousin who lived in Fresno was out in San Diego, so we all linked up or whatever. And Shay has a way, I'm gonna call my cousin S. So Shay has a way of just being like stank attitude to people, and she was being stank to my cousin, and it was so weird, bro. Like, I just didn't understand that. I was like, my cousin? I was like, my cousin? And I was like, what, are you being like this on purpose, like, to my relative? Like, that's really weird. So, like, no, you take, like, girl, we're drunk, like, all of us are acting like this, all just drunk. I'm like, whatever. So we're at my mom's house, and so while we're at my mom's house, I pull out like a wig that I have and like clothes that I have, because I always kind of have to like dress this girl, because Shay, like, I always had to kind of put her together. And I hate those type of friends that you always have to put together, but like, literally, I always had to like put her together. So anyway, I'm putting her together, and she's like having an attitude. She's like, oh, I don't want to wear that. Oh my God, is that new? Is it just having the same attitude? And my cousin's like, oh, you just lucky, like, because my cousin don't hold back. She's like, you lucky my relative is doing this for you. She don't even have to do this for you. And they was kind of like going back and forth. I'm like, oh, let's cut it out, let's just go out or whatever, because we was already tipsy from like drinking at my mom's house and stuff like that. So we end up going out, and my homeboy, who I've been friends with for so many years, I need to do a story time with him because I got some stories with him. We're gonna call him P. So my cousin, I'm with my cousin S, we're with Shay, and then we're with another girl that she brought or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, when they both pulled up, Shay and her friend, her other friend, they looked like they were going to the laundromat. So I had to like literally have them wear some of my clothes. Yeah, literally had to wear some of my clothes. But even with my clothes, like it just didn't go together. They weren't super clubby clothes. Like they still didn't look like me and how my cousin was looking. So anyway, P, he's like the plug. That's it. Yeah, P, he's like the plug in downtown. Like he's period, point blank, he's the plug. If you need to get in the clubs, if you need to get a luxury rental, whatever the case is, he's the plug. So get to the club, and the security guard like, nah, y'all can't come in. I'm like, no, we're on the list. We're on P's list. He's like, you on P list? Like he looking like us, like maybe y'all on P list, but I don't know about them. So I called P. I'm like, hey, you gotta come out here and get us. They tripping about getting the club. So P like, no, I don't know why they tripping on you. I'm gonna come out. He came out of the club or whatever, and this is one of the most poppin'est clubs in San Diego. He comes out, he's like, you know, give me a hug, give my cousin a hug, and then he sees Shay and her homegirl, and he like, bruh, like, and you next time you need to give me a warning, like before, because like I'm telling you, Shay sometimes just did not just put herself together. It was so annoying, like, and yeah. Anyway, so we get into the club. We get in the section, and P's friend is in the section, and the bottle girls come and they start pouring us drinks, and P friend stopped them from pouring Shay's drink and the other girl drink. I don't care how my friends look. I'm gonna let you know that right now. I don't care how my friends look. You're not about to just stop pouring her a drink because of what? We in this section. You if you don't want us in this section, then say that. But just to really do that. So I had to check him. I'm like, oh, so do you not want us here? And he was like, no, you good. It's just them. I'm like, well, they're with us. So then my Shay started feeling embarrassed, and my cousin like, nah, chill, because you know he probably saying that because how they look. And I'm like, I don't care. You're not gonna disrespect them. Like a drink, I could buy a bottle. I could buy a bottle. Do y'all want me to get Dan in here? Do you want to get my sugar daddy in here and buy the club out? Is that what y'all want me to do? Like, no, that's what I really wanted to say. But anyway, so I ended up leaving the section because Shay ended up storming off, right? So I'm like, oh, are you good? She's like, yeah, I'm not tripping or whatever. Like she acts like nothing happened. So we get on the dance floor, we start dancing and stuff, like a crowd get like around us and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden they want us back in the section. And I'm like, I'm not going back in the section. Like they basically embarrassed us in front of everybody. And Shay's like, no, let's go back in the section. I'm like, girl, have some dignity. Have some respect for yourself. I'm like, no, I'm not going back in the section. That doesn't make any sense. So me and her get into it, and she's like, she goes to the section, she starts drinking with them. And then I would tell my cousin because her feet was hurt. I was like, you can go back in the section. I'm not gonna go in the section. So P kept like calling me. He's like, why are you not in the section? Your homegirl's in the section. Y'all, I felt disrespected for her. I just didn't want to be around P's friend, and like I feel like P should have stood up for me when I was talking to his friend. It was just a lot. And you know, go in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong. I'm here to know. I want to know the truth. Was I wrong? And like I did my own thing. I always can find a section. Not a section. I can find a section in a club. In a packed club. Oh, you don't think I can get in the section? Okay, I can get in the section. So you know, I found a little section or whatever. Went about my business. And when we got outside the club, Shay had a little attitude, and my cousin was just like, "What's the attitude about? Like, what's wrong?" And she was basically like, I don't just like how they were talking to me. I guess when she went back in the section after they kicked you out. She said she didn't like how they was talking to her, and next time for me not to bring her around people like that. And I'm just like, what? Like, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Like, what are you even talking about? Basically, I was just done with that situation. Like, my cousin was kind of getting at her, but I'm like, don't even get at her. Like, first off, we were so drunk that night. Like, I just, like, don't even get at her. Next morning, I wake up. I'm blocked off of Instagram. I'm blocked off of Snapchat. She blocked me off of text messages. Y'all, that's the story. She went around telling people like, oh yeah, you know, you had me around the road type of people and people that disrespected me. Keep in mind, ladies, I'm not saying that how you dress is how you should be treated, but be presentable. Be presentable. You get treated better when you look nice. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You get treated. If you're going to go out to the club, not to the club. If you're going to go to the club, you need to look nice. And then the fact that she blocked me, really weird. And then, you know, I haven't talked to her since. I'm just like, whatever. Like, we no longer friends no more. I stood up for her in that situation, and it is what it is. And that's why I'm not friends with her anymore. I mean, I think she tried to reach out to me before. That's my story, y'all. And tell me if y'all can relate. Tell me if I was wrong. I'm always here to hear that I'm wrong, but I'm not. I'm never wrong. Anyway, that's it for this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram, Codenamechanel. I got a Patreon if you need some more game. And I think that I'm out. Follow me on Instagram, Codenamechanel. And I'm out. And I'm out. And I'm out.